Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today to create with you a card using the Spotlight on Nature bundle. Now, this is a new bundle in the new catalog, and it comes with all these wonderful stamps and a lot of these decorative circle dies. Now today we are going to use one of the decorative circles from this set, and we're also going to use one from the Stylish Shapes dies. So those are the two that we're going to use out of there. And then we're going to use this larger flower stamp, and then we're going to use the Dear Friend stamp. So let's get started with the supplies that we're going to need today. So all of the measurements and all the supplies will be available on my blog at blessedbycards.com. So you don't have to write them down if you don't want to. The first thing you need to do is choose a card base. I chose Melon Mambo, and then you'll need a card for the inside. We're going to stamp on that. And if you're choosing a light cardstock, you might not need a white insert, but I'm choosing the white insert, and we're going to do a little stamping on the inside of that. And then I have a layer of black that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and a layer of white that measures 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to do all of our main stamping on this 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to need a scrap piece of black if you are choosing to back your highlight, and a piece of white. So let me bring the card back in so you can see. And here we have the black outline that I used with one of the dies from that Spotlight on Nature, and then the one that I cut out with the Stylish Shapes that we are going to color. And that's what I meant by the highlighting of that. So what I did was I created a template. Once I decided on my size that I wanted, I created a template. And that helped me decide where to put my spotlight on my card. I'll show you what I mean. So let me set some of this aside. And I'm just going to focus on this one white piece of 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm just going to bring in my Memento black ink. Now you may want to make sure that you have Memento black ink, because if you are using StazOn, we're going to use the blends. It's going to become a muddy mess. So always use your Memento black ink with your blends and not StazOn ink. Okay, so I'm just going to sauce that up, and then I am just going to stamp it straight down and give it a pretty good pressure so that we can get an image. Voila, that's so beautiful. Okay, then let me bring in that little template so I show you what I mean. So you can decide by using your little template where you want to highlight on your image. So I'm choosing to highlight this medium-sized flower over here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Stylish Shapes, and that's what I'm going to cut that out with. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and then I will have an image that I can use on my highlighting. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so now we have cut out our stamped image and our accent piece from black. And the next step you're going to do is you're going to color in, using your stamping blends, that image. Now I like to start with the dark. You can do whatever you want, but I like to start with the dark because I can follow the lines on the image. And I just start at the bottom and bring that up. And if there's some highlights along the top you want to do, just highlight that with the dark. And then I bring my lighter in, and I like to go up from that dark to pull some of that ink up, and then that just kind of blends it. You can just color if you want it to be lighter, but I like to pull from that already dark image, and then it just really brings it up to the top of that flower. And you can do this as many times as you want to get the color that you want, depending on how vibrant you want it to be. So then I'm just going to take a little bit of the dark Granny Apple Green and do a little bit on the stem, and then I'm going to just again come in from the bottom and bring that up with the light color, blending that together. And that is how simple that little piece comes together. The next thing you want to do is you want to take a little bit of your glue or your adhesive, whichever you prefer, and you want to attach that to your black piece. Now you could do the spotlighting just directly on here without the highlight. If you don't want to do a highlight, you could highlight the same color as your card base. Today I'm just choosing to highlight in black. But this card has a lot of options. You can do no border, you can do a border, and then you see how you just kind of slide it down until it kind of looks like it's right on that image, and there you have it. So that's our spotlight. We're going to take our Memento Black ink again and our greeting from the set, Dear Friend. Just going to sauce that up. And we're just going to stamp that right down here. So I don't want it to interfere with my spotlight. And then for the actual spotlight, I want to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and put on the back of that black so that we can really just kind of pop it up and highlight that spotlight. So I don't know if you know the trick about the Stampin' Dimensionals, to just kind of pinch them down with your nail, and then those little strips just pop right off. Of course, these are all over your house, the little strips, but that's just a sign of a good stamper. And there you have it. You just put that highlight right down on there, and that is the card front. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and mount that on your black so that it really pops and it really comes to life. So just a little bit of adhesive. I'm using the Tombow liquid glue, but you can certainly use the snail if that is your adhesive of choice. And that is how sweet that is. Let's bring in our card base. And again, we'll just put some glue right on there. And then we'll just put that right on the front to make a super sweet card that looks like you spent a lot of time on. Okay, so for the inside, let's just grab our piece of plain white. And again, we'll grab that big stamp. And let's just stamp up the top part of that to highlight on the edge of our card. So I'm just going to come in here kind of at an angle and just stamp it straight down on there to give it a little bit of a look. And I'm not going to color that. I'm just going to leave that black and white. And I'm going to again bring in a little bit of glue. Put it all over that. And then we're going to stick that on the inside. Okay. And that is how quick and easy that card comes together. Now, you can also use the larger die that is in there and a little bit larger circle from that stylish shapes, and you can make a bigger image. So the sky is the limit for this particular spotlight. It just depends on how much you want to highlight. And also you can just do a simple coloring in with the blends, and I pop this layer up on Stampin' Dimensionals, and then on the inside I stamped a little butterfly and colored that. Those are 2 cards that you can create with this set, and there's many, many, many more. Well, that's it, friends. That's my weekly Wednesday. Join me next week and create another card together. But until then, be blessed.